Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Welcome to the press conference of the 176th meeting of the Military Committee, the Chiefs of Defense format. With the Chairman of the NATO Military Committee, General Petr Pavel, with Supreme Allied Commander Europe, General Scaparrotti, and the Supreme Allied Commander Transformation, General Denis Mercier. We will start this press conference with statements by the Chairman, followed by the two strategic commanders, and I will open the questions to the floor afterwards. General Pavel, the word is yours.
Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Let me begin this press conference by giving you an overview on the main outcomes of the first Chiefs of Defense meeting in 2017. Our meetings have been very productive and allowed for frank and lively debates. The Chiefs of Defense were able to evaluate and shape future work, as well as provide additional guidance on key areas which will be subsequently discussed by ministers next month during their defense ministerial. In our morning session, the Chiefs of Defense discussed their military advice on the NATO Command Structure Functional Assessment, the progress on both the defense and deterrence, and projecting stability work strands, as well as NATO's posture and continued adaptation. NATO's purpose and role to safeguard the freedom and security of its members through political and military means is as relevant today with the new and unconventional challenges facing the alliance as it was at its inception. NATO is at the forefront of the fight against international terrorism. Countering terrorism is a complex challenge that cannot have just a military response. We have continued this support to Afghanistan with our resolute support mission to train, advise and assist the Afghan forces and institutions. In our meeting in a resolute support format, the Chiefs of Defense were briefed on the ongoing security challenges in both Afghanistan and the surrounding region. Noting that the situation in Afghanistan remains difficult and that the Afghan security forces have taken many casualties, the Chots took the opportunity to recognize their efforts as they continue to defend the Afghan people with determination, courage, and combat enemy across the country. The Chots also stressed the importance of working with Afghanistan to encourage all regional actors to play a constructive role to find a lasting solution. This is the best way to support efforts to fight terrorism, stabilize Afghanistan, and to support the unity of it. Meeting with our Mediterranean dialogue partners and interoperability platform counterparts, the Chots emphasized how essential mutual understanding was in order to further our practical military cooperation, while also emphasizing the individual requirements of each nation. They highlighted the need to increase the effectiveness of our partnership programs via the individual tailored roadmaps and to augment interoperability. With regional challenges affecting global security more and more, holistic approaches that bring together military, political, and economic efforts will enable us to respond more effectively. Today's session began with Ukraine. The Chiefs of Defense briefed on the current state of affairs of the Ukraine armed forces, the progress in defense reforms, and the situation in and around Ukraine. The Chots commended defense reforms efforts while reaffirming their support for the sovereign and territorial integrity of Ukraine and their refusal to recognize Russia's illegal and illegitimate annexation of Crimea. During the meeting on Georgia, the Chots received an update on the status of the substantial NATO-Georgia package, as well as a briefing on the security situation in and around Georgia. They noted ongoing challenging security situation and stressed their commitment to the close cooperation and support between NATO and Georgia. They also commended Georgia for their significant contribution to our resolute support mission. In our last meeting today, the Chots held a candid discussion on Russia. The chiefs of defense highlighted Russia's increased assertiveness and encouraged me to continue to explore the options for a meaningful dialogue with General Gerasimov in order to increase our risk reduction and transparency efforts. With that said, I will now hand the floor to Secretary General Scaparrotti and subsequently to Secretary General Mercier. Mike, over to you.
Well, good afternoon, and first let me thank Chairman Pavel and General Mercier for their leadership and the commitment to strengthening NATO. I really couldn't ask for better partners. In this Chiefs of Staff session over the past 2 days, we've highlighted one major theme: the importance of unity across our alliance. I often say that unity is our alliance's center of gravity, and during this session, we discussed several ways that we're working together with unity of purpose. First is enhanced forward presence, or EFP. The Warsaw Summit last year was an important expression of NATO's unity, and our senior leaders agreed the EFP is a specific and necessary component of NATO's deterrence and defense posture. At Allied Command Operations, I'm encouraged by the continued steady progress we are making to implement EFP along NATO's borders. This demonstrates the Alliance's ability to act with a unity of effort to respond to the changing security environment. Second, during this session, we also discussed projecting stability outside of Europe. Contributing to security beyond NATO's borders strengthens both the Alliance and the international community. NATO is united in our commitment to the global security environment and to the partners and institutions that protect democracy, human rights, and rule of law. One area where projecting stability is manifest is Afghanistan, a third focus area for this session. NATO will continue to train, advise, and assist Afghan security forces through our Resolute Support mission. The planning process to define NATO's presence in Afghanistan is ongoing, but we'll all agree that the mission of preventing terrorists from again using Afghanistan as a safe haven is critical. These are just a few of the focus areas from this conference, but I think they illustrate the main theme of Alliance unity. And with that, I'll turn it over to General Mercier. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Peter and Mike. And you know that my role here is as a commander of the transformation of NATO is to look at how, in coordination with the military committee, and especially the chairman and SACEUR, how we can continue to improve today. But the role of my headquarters is as well to try to continuously anticipate and look at new ideas and try to shape tomorrow, and then to define how we can bridge the two. And in this meeting, we dealt with many issues related to the improvement of the NATO's posture following the decision made at the Warsaw Summit, and these decisions that are related to defense and deterrence and that are related to projection of stability. And the question is, for us and for my headquarters, is we continue to improve this and how we can anticipate some breakthroughs and to try to put that on the table. And when we have the shot in the military committee format, the question is to see if these ideas meet their expectation, and it's a good way to test these ideas and see if they support them. And if they do it, the next step will be how we implement those ideas all together and how we make them approved. And this is exactly what we did. And as the chairman highlighted, that we discussed partnership. We are improving what we do today through the implementation of 2 pilot projects through individually tailored roadmaps with specific partners. But the idea was, is it sufficient? How we can expand that in the future? So we discussed that with the shot, and then the key question will be how we bridge the two. And this is my role here in NATO, and this is why it is very complementary to work all together.